Welcome to the Inspiration for an Empowered Life podcast, sponsored by the Image Designers. They will help you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. Now, here's your host, the Image Master, Hollly Porter.
Hi, everybody. I'm Hollly. Welcome to the podcast. And we are excited to be here again for another episode today. And I have with me Syndee Hendricks today on our show. How are you?
Good morning.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day in California.
Oh, I know. I'm in St. George, Utah, and it's so beautiful. I love spring. Well, let me read a little bit about Syndee here. She is the founder and CEO of Imagine More Success. You can see that at imaginemoresuccess.com, which we'll also put a link on here, and she'll share more. Syndee has led multi-million-dollar divisions of nation's top retailers to a record-breaking award-winning performances and revenues. Right now, she has 5 published books, and 4 more are coming out within the next 6 months or so, right? Or less?
Yes.
Yeah. So she helps provide invaluable insight, inspiration, and action plans to businesses and people, and she does coaching and consulting, and her current projects include her eWomenNetwork international syndicated radio podcast, publishing all of her books, and helping entrepreneurs. So we're so happy to have you chat with us and share with us more about your Imagine More Success.
Thank you, Hollly. I'm thrilled to be here with you today.
Oh, well, tell me a little bit. Okay, so let's talk about, I know I'll ask you a million questions all at once, but that's how my mind works. So what inspired it, and then share, and then also share with how our listeners can be part of it.
Well, Imagine More Success came to fruition because as I have worked with entrepreneurs, business owners, and professionals over my decades-long career, I discovered that in a business, it's not something that you can learn in school unless it's something specific like accounting. Building a business is different than learning from a scholar who's never owned a business. My vision was to be able to share with business owners exactly what they need to learn when they need to learn it. So it's an online learning portal for business owners by business owners. And of course, if you're a professional, there are also things that you can learn on that portal. It'll be completely up and functional very soon, but I definitely encourage people to take a look at the 20 different categories, which will each have 4 subcategories. And the other piece is that content providers are welcome to come on board and provide their content to give a teaser, if you will, for those coming to the site to work with them. So it's a win-win-win for everyone, those who are providing content, those who want to learn the content, and then those who want to work with someone who is already successful at what they're doing and sharing their knowledge. So if you have interest, just send me your email, and I'm glad to send you information on it, or send me an email from the website.
Yeah, what a great concept. And you shared at one point, this is international. Is that correct?
It is.
Okay, so I'm curious, can people with other languages put things on? Are you foreseeing that happening?
Well, right now, what we're doing is posting in English. And as you know, there are several translation apps available that you can just take the content of what you're reading and transcribe it into a different language. However, I'm glad you brought that up because one of the other projects I'm working on are meditations. And eventually the website will be up, but it's going to be called Meditate Me Now. And you will be able to get free meditations for many different areas of life to help you improve.
Yeah, I love those. I love doing meditations. I have to keep them short, though. My brain goes too fast for it.
Well, you see, that's exactly why I wrote these, because I was trying to meditate to some of the things that people were putting out there. And I don't have 20 minutes. I don't have 15 minutes. And I can't just shut my mind off because it's so active.
Right.
And so I wrote meditations to keep active-minded people busy and on task of meditating. So, you know, my meditations are most of them under 6 minutes. So,
No, I love that. That's really
yeah.
good. You got to market that for ADHD people.
Well, busy professionals probably are that way, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think
And
that it's been
entrepreneurs. for
very
sure.
successful for myself and for my clients, and that's why I'm putting it out there. So, you
Yeah,
know, all busy professionals can get what they need
yeah.
to up-level their business and themselves.
Well, and I think some people that have done meditations in the past that have taught it, or they have their own, it's like, why do we have to have them that long? You know what I mean? And I think it scares a lot of people away, thinking there's no way I can do that. Or if they have to pick, do I exercise or do I meditate for an hour? You know,
Right.
why
Well,
can't you make both happen in 30 minutes?
that's
You know?
exactly why I wrote them. In fact, one of my meditations right now is available on Brain Tap. It's an app by Dr. Porter, and he is amazing with his research on the brain. And that app is phenomenal. So go check it out, and you can find my first meditation, which is called Empowering Meditation to Release All That No Longer Serves You. Very powerful. So I urge you to check it out.
I believe that's the one I have as well.
It is.
Yeah, I know. It's been fun. And what I really like a lot about you is that your mind thinks fast like me, so I like it because you can actually keep up. It's like we're going all over, and we can change subjects, and we're still right there. But I like the ideas because you know how to bring and hone it all in, and bring that person's creativity, and then give them steps. I don't know, maybe that's not a very good way to explain it, but for me, that's how it's worked. Is you know, we have a conversation, and by the time I walk away, I'm like, oh, I had all these ideas. Well, now I actually have an action plan, and I can go implement it. And so,
Well, and that's really called triage.
yeah.
To take what's in front of you, put it together, and come out of it with exactly what you need to go forward with what you want.
And you know, I know you offer like just even some power time coaching, where you laser coaching, where people can't they just call you even for something like that? Because I know I've heard you say in 30 minutes I can have your book outlined. I mean, look how many books. Share when your first book was, and now you're going to be number 9. Like, seriously.
Well, there's a little trick to writing a book, but I started 2 years out, or maybe a year and a half out, and I just didn't have time or didn't have motivation to get it written. I had the outline done, and so until I had the why of writing that book and finishing it, I didn't get it done. And my why was because so many of my clients were desperate for the information in the book. So I went on vacation with a couple and with my husband, and we went up on the coast of Oregon, gorgeous. And I got up at 3, 4, 5 a.m. and I worked on my book and knocked out the chapters in 1 week.
Wow, it can happen. Yeah.
Well, the information was in my head, as it is in everyone who wants to write a book.
Yes.
And it just sometimes when you can't get started, you just need someone who can help you organize the work, which is kind of what you just described, is taking someone's ideas and getting it organized and coming up with how to roll it out.
I loved yesterday, our mutual friend Elena did a little Facebook Live on hers about doing a book, but also about like what order. And she suggested, and I love this because this is more reasons why people need to work with you, is that you don't write your autobiography first. Yes, that's what's in your head, and yes, that's what you know the best. But she was basically kind of joking about it, but it's the truth. That who cares? Nobody cares about your autobiography until you have a little bit of success, or until you're doing something. Then they're like, oh, I want to know more about them.
Well, Hollly, here's the next step of that, and this will demonstrate exactly what you said that I'm good at. What I would say is, do write the outline of your autobiography.
Yes.
Then pick out the pieces of where your book lies.
Yeah.
Because that's who you are, what you know, what you've done.
Sure.
And so then you can go back and say, oh, I can write about this, and I can write about that.
She get more their story, like their life story. Like, you know, I mean, if you're famous people, you don't always see their autobiography till they've been famous for years, you know. And it's not that nobody will care. She was just saying, when she wrote hers, maybe her dad read it. She wasn't sure her mom read it. It was like, and a couple of her friends got it, and it's like they didn't really care. But if you create something that is of importance to people, then they will, oh, who is this person? Like, I want to.
Exactly. Yes.
But it's amazing to me that you wrote so many. I'm cracking up thinking to myself, you talk about book junkies and seminar junkies. Well, we're becoming author junkies. It's like,
you know what it is? When I work with people, they need so much information. And if I can give them a book and a workbook, then they have a point of reference of what I'm helping them with, and then they can just outline it, because that's why I do laser coaching, because I make everything so simple that you can just knock it out. Because why make it difficult? Why stretch it out?
And I mean, that's basically what a workbook is templates, fill in the blanks. And, part of it triggers me a little bit going back to school. Oh, I don't want to do homework. But if you realize, like, this is something you're creating for you, and if you just have to, like, make it as simple as fill in the blank, I love that.
Exactly.
For sure. Oh, that's so cool. So what projects are you working on, like, right now? I know you work with eWomen.
Yes. Well, actually, I'm working on rolling out a new program with them for, should be unveiled at conference. So I can't tell too much about it, but I can tell you that it's going to be very exciting and very helpful to people who want to improve their business. I mean, that's my forte. I've done it for decades.
Yes.
And it's what I love to do. So I'm also finishing the 4 additional books I'm writing. In fact, one, Elena, our publisher, is Elena Rawrig, R-A-H-R-A-G, if you need a great publisher.
She's a rock star.
That's right. So she's publishing Insights from an Intuitive. It's 150 quotes I've used over my career to help people get to where they want to be or improve their life.
Oh, nice.
And then I have 3 more books after that. One, of course, I'm writing a chapter in your book.
Yes, you are. And I forgot to mention at the beginning, because a lot of these podcasts we are doing, I'm highlighting the authors. And so the 40.
You want to tell people the name of your book?
Yeah. So the 40-40 Rules, Wisdom from 40 Women Over 40. And so it's coming very soon. Like, people might be listening to this after we already have it out, but it will be in our hands in less than 3 weeks. So
I can't wait.
Maybe 2, but I'm like, yeah, we'll say 3. So yeah, super excited. And yeah, you're one of the authors in there, and we have such a fun group of women in there. I'm excited to bring them together, and yeah.
And I'm also excited about our collaboration again in speaking in Cabo in January.
Oh.
So if anyone's interested in going to a very motivational summit, 5 days, 4 nights in Cabo, then connect with either Hollly or myself and we can hook you up. It's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be really fantastic. I'm looking really forward to that. Can't even start working on what all I want to work on for speaking there till I get these books out of the way that I'm working on too. So
exactly.
That's okay. One step at a time. Yeah. I don't know anyone besides the way I always felt that does and thinks like in so many things like you do.
Well, it's just, for me, it's not work like work is for other people. This is my passion of what I love to do. In fact, one of the other projects that I rolled out earlier this year that I've started on is called Help Entrepreneurs Leverage Potential. It's a nonprofit where people who want to either up-level their business or start their business can apply for money.
Right.
And so if anyone's interested in either contributing, donating, or would like more information, you can also connect with me, and I'd love to give you some info on that.
Are you doing microloans?
They're not going to be loans. I'm not involving the banking system.
Okay.
Not interested in going there.
Well, I think microloans, like there's entrepreneurs who donate, and they get paid back, but it's like, it's low interest and things like that. It's just.
Well, that's one of the things I'm working out. I've gotten some information on how to do that without going through the banking system.
Yeah.
And I just don't want the pressure of having payments on an entrepreneur while they're trying to roll out their new business, because there are a lot of very talented people out there that are not able to share their gifts in a business because they don't have the money. So I am trying to make it so that they can.
Right. Oh, so true though. Yeah.
Yes,
So true.
exactly.
I love that. Well, okay. And so, the biggest project really is this Imagine More Success. And
That's one of them, yes.
I had a thought before on that I was going to ask you on. Is there anything else that you want our listeners to hear about that project? Like,
Well, I'm really interested in content. So if you have some really good content that you want to give out there, and we're looking for downloads for people, and then at the end of your PowerPoint, and you are able to make an offer for people to work with you. And the point I want to get across is the purpose of this is to be able to help business owners and entrepreneurs up-level themselves and their businesses. So we're offering it at a very, very affordable price. I know there are a lot of things out there you can get for $500, for $1,000,
sure.
and this is a very low monthly fee. I mean, one course you can get, one category you can get for $3.99 a month.
Wow.
So the purpose is for people to be able to learn. It's not meant to be a money machine like many of the people are doing out there. And,
Right.
you know, not to be negative about those folks, but my intent is to help business owners learn what they need to learn to up-level their business.
Yes, I like that. Well, and you know what I found is when I've like wanted to research something and I've gone on and, for instance, just watched a bunch of YouTube videos, there's just like, what, 1 in 10 that you watch. And to me, like when you're busy, you don't have that time to waste. And so what a great concept to be able to bring people somewhere. They can go to a category just like they would YouTube, you know, when they search, and actually have some value there, because, you know, you're not just going to let anyone on there. You're going to screen their stuff and you're going to know, hey, this fits our mission and this is where we want to go with this. And so that is just going to be so much help to so many.
Exactly. Well, the first one that is on there is one I created called Goal for It, which is also the name of my upcoming book. And the reason that I'm so passionate about speaking on goals and on writing about goals and creating PowerPoints and training sessions is that that's the engine that creates all that we do. Without a goal, nothing happens.
Right.
And without a way to get to the goal, nothing happens. So I'm just, yeah, I meet with so many talented people that are struggling in areas that are areas they should not be struggling in, simply because they don't have the tools to get to where they want to be. And these are people that are highly educated. My point again, you can't get sometimes what you need in a scholastic environment.
Yeah.
Because business isn't about scholastics, is it?
Right.
Business is about how to make things work in your environment to get what it is you need to build your business.
Right.
And I know when I went back to school to get my degree, because I was promoted so fast and so often over my career that I didn't have time to finish my education. And the first couple of classes, I'm like, well, that wasn't my experience. And the only thing I could figure out was the teacher didn't have a business background or owned a business to understand that isn't how it works.
Right.
And I worked in almost half the states in the US, so in business. So I can tell you from personal experience how it really works, and the way that you can get to where you want to be just doing a few things that you're going to learn on Imagine More Success. So I'm very excited about this. It should be totally ready to roll in a couple of months. And so hopefully you'll check it out and see if it can help you too.
Yeah. I'm going to be on it. Are you kidding?
Well, you better be a contributor, Hollly.
Definitely. Not
You
just
have-
one, I mean, yeah.
You have so much to offer.
We'll be working. So what can you leave with our listeners? We're going to wrap this up here in just a couple minutes. So, like, do you have any secrets on success or something you could leave everyone listening?
Well, I think the biggest secret for any professional in any business or working for a company is the people who are at the top of their game have at least one coach.
Yes.
Some have multiple. I mean, you know, when I first started out, the only folks who had coaches were athletes, or you'd hear coaches at the high school teams.
Yeah.
You didn't hear about individuals having coaches. And the reason it's exploded in the industry is because people are being so successful by having a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And so the key is to find a coach that you are compatible with, that you trust, and that you can work with. Like Hollly said, you know, she has a very fast mind and she needs somebody who works as fast as she does. And so I'm that person, but I am not the right coach for everybody, because sometimes a coach like me that does fast triage and works quickly and comes up with ideas that can take what you're talking about and put them out there with what you need to know and do, doesn't work for someone who is methodical and kind of plods along and has to chew on things first. So you have to find a coach for those folks that can plod along with you and take time and incubate your ideas and thoughts. And so not every coach is right for every person. And I think that is the biggest secret. That's where people say, oh, I had a coach and it just didn't work for me. Well, the issue was you didn't have the right coach.
Right. And I've done that as well. I've always said, you know, I'll never hire a coach that doesn't have a coach. Never. I'm happy to say, though, every coach I've ever had, I've outgrown. And that's the way it should be, right? I mean, if we're progressing and we're moving forward, we outgrow our coaches, where it doesn't mean they still don't have value for me. It just means I don't need that anymore.
I don't know that outgrow is the correct word for my thinking. I think the correct word is you need different coaches at different times and points in your career. An example would be, I have a coach right now who helps me with my technical things in my work, because I don't have time to learn all the technical, and it changes every 10 minutes. So
right.
You know, unless you're in that arena. So, you know, that is someone that I'll keep going back to as I have that need. And then I have another coach that is a consultant also, who is also intuitive. And I probably will never outgrow that coach, because I'm always going to need that intuitive consulting.
Yes.
And that's, you know, that's what I am, an intuitive coach. So it's like synergy. So that's what I was talking about. When you find synergy with a coach, that's the ticket.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Well, I'm so excited that you got to come with us today and join us and share a little bit of your genius, like just a teeny bit of your genius. But people will be able to find you on their link. Do you want to just say your website or how you would like to be contacted?
Sure. My website is Syndee Hendricks.com. SYNDEEHENDRICKS.com. And if you don't write that down, just go to imaginemoresuccess.com and you can find me there too.
Oh, thank you. Well, thanks for joining us, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Hollly. You too. Can't wait for that book.
I know. Thank you, listeners.